Hello and welcome, guys, to this week's topic time, and that is how is coronavirus affecting the comic industry? So we wanted to do a separate video on this because we really want to try to make the live shows every Tuesday, which obviously we're continuing to do, a good escapism. We don't really want to talk about the coronavirus there, but we do feel like this is an important topic to discuss, especially in our industry. So how do you guys feel like? I think comic book stores in particular are going to be affected by people not going to the store.
I think in this case, especially with what's going on with the comic shops. I mean, you got to kind of. I mean, right now with the restaurants, for example, it's all pickup or delivery. Obviously, there are a few comic shops. I think you shared that a few comic shops were going to be delivering to local houses. I think that'll be a way to kind of combat it. A lot of people are going to be going to Midtown because Midtown ships from a warehouse. Calling your comic shop, maybe making orders, and then you literally walk in, pick up your order, and leave. I think that's what's going to be happening too. It's not going to be like you can stand around and loiter.
Prepaid, maybe.
Prepaid as well. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Prepaid. So this way you walk in, take your comics, and leave. My one concern is Diamond. If Diamond doesn't ship, then there's nothing for the shops, and then that hurts the shop's business.
Yeah, I mean, the big conversation is that the companies, Marvel, DC, other indie companies as well, really need to make a returnability for these retailers. Only two companies at this point, as we record at Tuesday night, Dynamite and Image was the only two companies that have done that. The ones who actually have the most money, like DC and Marvel, haven't. And with the orders that the shops have to make, they make it days before Wednesday. So they don't know. We don't know what the next day is going to look like on this planet. So it's very hard to say, okay, I know Wednesday my customer is going to come in, because for New York in particular, we don't even know if we'll be on a lockdown. We don't know that, and that meaning only thing that's available is like CVS and, things for like medical uses and
groceries.
Yeah, and food. So this mom, pa, the comic books, the retailers, like those are all going to be closed down, and that kind of goes into the next topic, which is how does this affect print comics overall? Because if stores close, they're not going to make enough money, and that means they'll close permanently. And then also maybe some people will go digitally and they'll be like, oh, I like this more. And then you're going to see a much bigger surge in digital comics.
Well, we are in the age of technology where everything's like all technology and everybody's going to that. But mostly it's going to hurt the comic book industry because there are a lot of people who are, afraid of this coronavirus and they don't want to get infected by it, or they're trying to take precautions by wearing the face masks or anything else. But it's really it's like a nightmare for some people because they don't want to get caught by this. I mean, we're doing like what they say, like by washing our hands or using hand sanitizers or covering our mouths when we sneeze and all that. But it's just going to hurt them because they're going to stay inside. And since we are, like I said, in the age of technology, there's going to be most people who are going to just stay inside and then get everything digital.
Well, with a lot of people out of work too, you got to worry that because they're being impacted with money, you might not be seeing such high sales anymore for comics.
Well, that too, like, yeah, go to the side step of people not be, people going on unemployment, not having their jobs, but saying like, don't get another job because you still have your job, but you don't, because we don't know what's going on with our place of work. And also, like, people who are looking for new jobs, if they are laid off, then no one's hiring because, like, it's crazy. So the job market also
they might close down too.
What, Mike?
No, I was just saying, because if you go to another job, they might close down too, and it's just,
well, that, and also they're definitely not hiring, because why would they hire at this time?
Yeah, but this whole thing is just a big, controversy with all this, virus. And it's just, getting to a lot of people that they don't want to leave their houses, or they don't want to, or they're not going to have enough money to pay for the comic books if they're unemployed, because unemployment, there's like a certain number of weeks we have to wait to get paid. There's usually some cuts that are made than your regular paycheck. It's a lot of factors that takes in from people going to get comic books, as well as not doing other things as well, and other things that are shutting down that they normally go to that they can. It's a really, really huge factor.
I feel like the longer we're stuck in a lockdown, the longer it's going to impact sales, and especially the physical sales of comic books. So if we are going to be in a lockdown, hopefully it's not a long one, but nobody can tell.
We don't know when this is ending. I feel like the dates have been pushing, like, oh, the schools are closing March, let's say 20th, and then it's just like, never mind, next day, April 20th. Like, this, what's going on? And obviously, we're not saying this is like, oh, this is bad, whatever. Everything they're doing is the right thing. Obviously, safety is the most important thing. We should have precursed this. This is not a video to say, oh, we want our comics, blah, blah, blah. It's more of a video to say is how is the industry ready to transition in a time period to keep everyone safe and healthy while we're in quarantine.
Right.
That's more of what the video is about, not saying that they're doing the wrong thing.
And again, with the lockdowns and whatnot, will comic shops be affected? I'm sure some states they will, some states maybe not. It really depends what the state is doing and what they're considering is locked down. Like you said, it could be a lockdown where only grocery stores and medical places are open. Everything else is closed, so there's no comic shops open. Or they could have people going to work, certain works, and comic shops might be open. But then it goes back to, will Diamond ship? If they don't ship, there's no physical books for any comic shop.
And even one thing we have to talk about too, and this kind of goes into the media stuff, but like, how are creators creating right now? Luckily for comics, everyone's usually remotely. It doesn't work in a place, but there are people that are like editors and other parts of the comic industry, printers, like all this stuff that also are part of this, collaboration. So are we going to see it affect months from now where like there's not a lot of comics coming out because we weren't able to work during the coronavirus?
Right. There weren't enough printed, issues or whatnot.
Yeah, the only thing that many people are saying is that in order for this to lessen, we just work together, just
stay home.
Yes,
not a lot of social gatherings, and just try to keep distance.
And I think that's another thing we should mention is that one of our viewers asked us on our Frontline Live show, Comic Book Weekly show, where they said, should I go to the comic book store? And my answer was, do what makes you feel safe. If you feel like you can run in and out and feel safe going in, go for it. The reason I went is because my comic book store literally gives everyone Purell after they get their comics. I don't need to be in contact with many people. My store, there were maybe 3 people in that store at that point. So they're also making traffic move very well. So I felt safe to go. But if you don't feel safe, don't go. It's not worth it.
Right. No, not for books. You can read it digitally. Just have them open up a box for you. You can buy it later.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I agree. Any other thoughts here, or we'll start wrapping up?
It's a huge impact on the entire world, and everybody has to play their part so this way we can beat this thing. And at this point, it's growing at such a rapid rate that if we don't take the precautions, the government and everybody else is going to make them for us. So just be smart. Be smart about it.
Be smart. Be smart.
Yeah, have hand sanitizer like Michael up your butt every 2 seconds. No, just stay clean. Go out as less as possible, and just sit at home and watch TV. Watch a streaming service. Watch our videos. Watch something. Go play a video game. Watch somebody playing a video game. Just relax and enjoy however many weeks of doing absolutely nothing there is. And if you're already on unemployment, you don't even have to worry about that much. You're losing money, but you're not losing a lot. Just sit back and enjoy the vacation. Act like it's a vacation. Ignore the fact that it's horrible out there. This is something we have to beat, and the way to beat it is to stay away from each other as much as possible until this whole virus kills itself out.
Yeah.
I feel like we're playing that video game. I know neither of you played it, but it's called Plague, where you create a virus and it takes over the entire world. And
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard.
I've seen gameplays of it.
And it's crazy because the maps that we're seeing in reality are the maps just like in the play game. And it's like if we are a map in a play game right now, whoever's playing the game, seriously, cut it out. Stop it and let us live.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's honestly does. What is I guess weird is that it feels like science fiction. Like I think that's what's so scary about it. I mean, I could go deeper and say that also like existential dread in a way because we're not interacting with people, and it's not even. I don't want to say like, oh, obviously yes, because death and lives are in the matter, but also just the fear of not knowing is also what existential dread means.
Yeah.
So I think that's also a big thing. Is just like that's where the fear comes from. Is that like we just said, we don't know if next month everything's gonna be better or a year from now. It's just like we don't know. And that sucks.
At this point, I'm wishing it was a year from now, just so we could get past this. At this point,
yeah. So I mean, we're gonna try to keep the channel unless something, another big update happens in the comic industry. We're gonna try to keep it mostly just about comics and fun. So this is escapism for you. I'm sure there's enough sources that is talking about the coronavirus, but we also didn't want to ignore it because that would be insensitive as well. It's something going on in the world and affecting everybody. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and please let us know in the comments how you're dealing with it and how you feel the comic industry will survive with this.
Agreed. So as always, subscribe, notification bell, like, social media for Frontline, and then all of our social medias right here. And we will see you all next week for some more comic goodness. We hope you have a safe week. Be safe out there. Be smart. And for God's sake, stop making them toilet paper castles, please. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Everyone.